Hi there, and welcome to Q the Health Podcast. I'm Ashley Martin, the hostess with so much love for you listening. Q the Health is here to help you take the right action for your health, healing, and well being. We're back at improving the ships that drive our relations. In part one, we looked at respect. And in this episode, we'll take a look at two important E's that help us thrive in relationships: empathy and emotional intelligence. Now, empathy has been a buzzword the past couple of years in researching and in receiving revelation and in training on this very important concept and skill sets. One of the things that has come about is, I hope, a simple way to define what empathy is. And it's simply my path to you, it's simply your path to me. How do we understand each other? How do we get each other? How do we connect with one another? Again, it's the path that I take. It's the path that you take, that we take to get to one another. My path to you. The places where we meet. It's the places where we understand one another. It's the places where there is a level of, you know, you get it. It's crucial to building connection. And I caution that it shouldn't be used as a crutch or a weapon. You may wonder why. We'll get into that later on. I'll let you sit and just kind of sit with that. It shouldn't be used as a crutch or a weapon. It's meant to help us bond and help us to connect. But again, not a crutch or a weapon. And I think it's important to note that empathy is not an excuse for doing wrong. But again, it leads to better connections and relationships when used the right way. When used the right way. Now, the other E, the other part of that equation, our EQ, our emotional quotient or our emotional intelligence, is just as important for relationships. Being able to tend to and use our own emotional management is vital. It's vital. Being able to know and to put a name or words to what you're feeling and why you're feeling it is a part of emotional regulation. So whether you are a master of EQ or you have a very high emotional quotient or high emotional intelligence, or you're just starting off and really getting a grasp on your emotions and understanding them and know how to regulate them, know that it's a part of the equation. And kudos to you if you are in that space where you're learning how to say how you feel, and you're learning how to communicate in a healthy way to say how you feel, and you're learning how to regulate your emotions. I high five, long distance. And kudos to you. Keep going, keep working, keep doing your work, keep going. If you don't know, ask yourself, why are you feeling whatever kind of way that you're feeling? That's another thing that can probably help you along the way and help you maintain your emotional intelligence. Why are you feeling the way that you're feeling? I remember I was watching something on TV, and probably for most people, it might not have made them feel some kind of or stir up some kind of emotion, but I felt some kind of way about what I saw on TV, and it aggravated. And when I say some kind of way, I was a little agitated and I was a little aggravated. And I said, why am I feeling this way about this? Is it something I was discerning? Was it something, that knowing, or was it something that was going on with me? I'm a lady. Was it, and I'll be honest, I'm a human. I'll be honest. Like, was it something going on with me? Like, what was it? Why was I feeling like that? That's all a part of our emotional regulation. And so, I just sat with it. Later on, I understood why I felt the way that I did. But sometimes you need to sit with things for a little while, not too long, but just for the right amount of time. If you need help, ask somebody. If you need help putting a word or words to what you're feeling, to what's going on, ask for help. This is why, they're counselors. This is why, people like myself, we have coaching services. This is why there are people you can go talk to in your community, a minister or a good friend, a therapist. Like, this is why we ask that. And guess what? Don't ever underestimate what you might learn from a child. If you're an adult listening to this, don't ever underestimate. Why? Why? What is the word that I'm looking for how I'm feeling? It'll help. And then if you're able to help somebody, please do. If you're able to help them to put a word to what they're feeling, if you're able to help them put a word to their emotions, if you're able to help them with that regulation, please do. By all means, help people make sense of the things that they're feeling, because we're in a time period. There's so much going on. I mean, not and nothing. There's nothing new under the sun, right? But there's a lot going on too. There's a lot going on too. Um, and we want to be able to again regulate, maintain, be healthy in the midst of all of that. And so sometimes being able to put words to make sense of things, to make sense of something. So your grasp and your grip is not, our reality is not gone. Those things are important. So just think about that. Now, in understanding and considering, and we're in relationships, we're dealing with other people, and they have emotions, right? So we not only have the job of help, okay, we have our own emotional management. We're dealing with other humans who have their emotions. Depending on if they have a high level of emotional management regulation, or a low level, or somewhere in between, or if they're growing in those areas, all of that is a part of us navigating our relationship reality. So we have to go the extra mile, again, to understand and help people understand what they're feeling, and to be able to dialogue through that, to be able to work through that, to be able to resolve conflict through it if needed, to be able to maintain peace through it if needed. And that takes some other skills. It takes some other willingness to be quiet sometimes and listen to others. It takes willingness to tap into patience, that fruit of patience, that that virtue of patience. It takes that. Very important, right? Knowing when you need to use kindness, knowing when you need to use gentleness. It takes all of that. Now, please keep in mind that having EQ, especially having a high level of EQ, is not manipulating people. Please do not do that. Please don't do it. If you have, I pray you stop. Please don't use your EQ to manipulate people or to be manipulated. That's not what emotional intelligence is about. That's not what your emotional quotient is about. You want to stay clear of being manipulative, just as clear as possible. We're in the business of helping others, and receiving help, and not manipulating people. We want everybody to be better and do better. So consider those things. That second part of keeping that real in relationships, right? Thriving relationships, healthy relationships. Think about the relationships. You can probably even see this in the relationships that you have that work very well. You may see the contrast between those things that work well and those that you could use some help. That relationship can use some help. Where can that empathy be better on for whatever parties are involved? And then where can that emotional intelligence, that emotional quotient, that regulation, where can that be improved? Just think about it. If you know someone who could benefit from hearing and putting any of these nuggets to use, please don't hesitate to share it with them. And if something has worked for you, don't hesitate to share. Don't hesitate to share. Please leave it in the comments on YouTube. Until next time.